Measuring your window properly is a very important step in making sure you get a product you are 100% satisfied with. Please take the time to measure carefully, as an inch or two can affect the aesthetics and functionality of your shutter. Please read the manual specific to the type of shutter you are ordering beforehand for more detailed instructions and relevant diagrams. The manual will assist you in determining the proper shutter size to order based on the opening measurements. You will require a tape measure as well as a pencil and paper to begin your measure. You must first determine the type of building material the opening is constructed of. The placement of hinges and/or the type of fasteners used to anchor the shutter to the building may vary based on the opening's building material. Start by looking for any nearby obstacles which may interfere with the shutter so that they can be considered when measuring. Examples of these would be outlets, railings, landscaping, or other shutters future and existing on nearby windows. For a brick opening, you will want to measure between the inside faces of the brick. Take 3 width measurements at the top, middle, and bottom portions of the opening. Then take 3 height measurements at the left, middle, and right portions of the opening. Should your 3 measurements differ, always take the largest of the 3. You also want to locate the area of the wall where your anchors will end up to ensure that proper embedment into the substructure will be met. See the manual for more details. Now the size which will be ordered must be determined. This opening's width was measured at 40 inches, so the shutter will be ordered at that width. Unfortunately, this means the left panel will hit the outlet that is only 19.5 inches away and will not operate properly. This colonial must be bifolded. For the height, a chart must be used because louvered shutters are only available at certain increments. This opening's height was measured at 68 inches, so the closest available height will be selected, which is 68.5. These details can be found in the colonial manual. Before installation, please read the manual specific to the type of shutter you are ordering for more detailed instructions and relevant diagrams. The manual will include instructions that may not be mentioned in this video. Ear, eye, and hand protection is recommended for safety in all steps. Also, some steps may require 2 people to perform safely. The following tools are required for installation on brick: a pencil, tape measure, relevant drill bits, universal step bit, hex driver, brick installation screws, a level, caulk gun with silicone, drill, and a rotary hammer drill. Depending on the type of brick of the opening, a drill with a hammer function may work in place of a full-size rotary hammer drill. A more detailed list including specific required drill bits and screws can be found in the shutter manual. First, you must assemble the shutter. Start by pairing the bifold panels together. This is more easily done while standing up. Now lay the shutter down and install lock bars using the provided bolts and wing nuts. Before tightening the wing nuts completely, shim an 1/8 inch gap between the panels. Now place the male wall hinges into the female hinges on the shutter to ensure that you have everything ready. Note that the top 2 hinges are inserted on the opposite end of the female hinge to lock the shutter onto the wall. You are now ready to bring the shutter to the opening. You can begin by ensuring that you have the correct shutter for the opening by doing a quick measure before moving on. Place shims on the sill of the window to allow space for the shutter to operate without rubbing on the sill. Place the shutter on these shims and center it on the opening. Use a level on the side and bottom or top of the shutter to ensure that it is level. This is critical for the functionality of the shutter. Additional shims may have to be used to level the shutter. Position a weight-bearing hinge in place to drill holes. Use a rotary hammer drill to drill the holes through the hinge into the wall. Use silicone to seal the holes from water. Now use the hex driver and hex head screws to fasten the hinge to the wall. Repeat this process for all the weight-bearing hinges and then finally the top two hinges, which will lock the shutter into place. Once all the hinges are fastened to the wall, the lock bars may be removed. Now the holdbacks need to be installed. Open the shutter and mark a suitable location for the holdback clip and bullet. Copy that mark onto the opposite panel and check that the position will work for the other side as well. Now use Tek screws to fasten the clips to the shutter. Open the shutter and mark the location on the wall where the bullet will be installed to meet with the clip on the shutter. Drill a hole through this mark, seal it with silicone, and fasten the bullet to the wall. Repeat this process for the opposite panel. Open and close your shutter and test the operation of both holdbacks. The shutter is now complete.